What if everything you thought you knew about yourself was a lie? What if the self you've always identified with is just an illusion? Imagine uncovering a truth so profound that it shatters the very foundation of your identity, revealing a freedom beyond anything you've ever imagined. Welcome to the transformative journey of realizing that you were never born, because the self you believe you are has never truly existed. Take a moment to pause and reflect. Who are you? Not your name, your job, or your roles in life. Who are you beneath all of that? For centuries, sages and philosophers have questioned the nature of the self, but few have articulated it as clearly as John Wheeler in his teachings on non-duality. His insights challenge the very fabric of what we believe about existence and identity. Today, we're diving into this timeless truth. By the end of this journey, you'll have the tools to see through the illusion of self and embrace the infinite awareness that you truly are. This isn't about becoming something new. It's about recognizing what you've always been. Chapter 1. The Illusion of the Separate Self. Let's begin with a fundamental question. Who is the I that you think you are? The sense of self feels so real, doesn't it? You have thoughts, emotions, and memories that seem to form the essence of you. But here's the catch. When you look for this I, you can't actually find it. Picture this. You're watching a movie. You're so absorbed in the story that you forget it's just a film. The ego, or the sense of self, is like that movie. It feels real because you're deeply invested in it. But when you step back, you realize that the I is just a collection of thoughts and perceptions. It has no independent existence. John Wheeler describes the ego as a mental construct, a habit we've been conditioned to rely on. It's like a whirlpool in a river. It appears distinct, but it's inseparable from the water around it. The self you think you are is nothing more than a temporary formation in the flow of life. Chapter 2. The Freedom of Being Unborn. Now, let's explore a revolutionary idea. You were never born. This doesn't mean your physical body doesn't exist. It means that the self, the me you identify with, is not a real entity. It's a story, a thought, a label. Think about this. Your body is alive. Your heart is beating, and your lungs are breathing. Did the self you imagine yourself to be make any of this happen? Life unfolds effortlessly, without the need for a central I to control it. You are not the doer. You are the awareness in which all doing arises. Wheeler's teachings remind us that seeing through the illusion of self doesn't require effort. It's about recognizing what has always been true. You are not the whirlpool. You are the river. You are the awareness that gives rise to all experience. Chapter 3. Breaking Free from the Ego's Grip. Imagine the freedom of living without the constant chatter of the ego. No more defending your identity, no more proving your worth, no more carrying the weight of a false self. This is not a fantasy. It's your natural state. Consider this practical insight. The next time you feel stressed or overwhelmed, pause and ask yourself, who is experiencing this? When you look for the me that's struggling, you'll find only a cluster of thoughts and sensations. There is no solid I at the center. The stress doesn't disappear, but your attachment to it does. It becomes a passing phenomenon, like clouds drifting across the sky. This shift doesn't make you detached or robotic. On the contrary, it makes you more alive and present. Without the ego's constant interference, you're free to experience life as it is, not as your mind thinks it should be. Chapter 4. The Interconnectedness of All Things. As the illusion of self dissolves, something beautiful happens. The boundaries between me and you begin to fade. You realize that the awareness flowing through you is the same awareness flowing through everyone and everything. This is the essence of non-duality, the recognition that all is one. Imagine standing on the shore of a vast ocean, watching the waves crash against the sand. Each wave appears separate, but they are all part of the same ocean. In the same way, you are not separate from the flow of life. You are life itself. Chapter 5. Living the Truth of Being Unborn. So, what does this realization mean for how you live? It means you no longer have to strive to find meaning or escape fear. Life becomes an unfolding, moment by moment, free from the need to control or resist. Challenges still arise, but they no longer threaten a fragile sense of self. If sadness comes, you feel it fully. without labeling it as my sadness. If joy arises, you embrace it without clinging to it as my joy. You meet life with openness, curiosity, and presence. Relationships become richer because you're no longer defending a false identity. Criticism no longer stings because there's no me to defend. Life flows effortlessly, like a river following its natural course. As we come to the end of this journey, let's return to the core question. Who are you? You've looked deeply into the nature of your thoughts, emotions, and sense of self. You've questioned the stories you've carried and the roles you've played. What remains is something so simple, so ever-present, that it's often overlooked. It's the awareness that has been here all along. This awareness is the timeless truth of your being. It's not something you need to create or find. It's what you've always been. Take a deep breath and rest in this knowing. Feel the stillness, the peace, and the freedom of being unborn. This is not an idea or a concept. It's the living truth of what you are. If this message resonates with you, consider subscribing to Mystical Codex for more explorations into the nature of reality, the illusion of self, and the timeless awareness that we all share. Thank you for walking this path with me. May this truth continue to unfold in your life, bringing clarity, peace, and liberation. Subscribe to Mystical Codex and join us on this journey of self-discovery and timeless truth. Together, let's explore the mysteries of existence and awaken to the awareness that we truly are.